Inka? Glad you're here. Hey, Chopin enthusiast. How was my day? Oh, it was alright. Didn't get done as much as I needed to, but I did get a run. So that was nice. I got my first little bit of money from Facebook ads also, which was kind of nice. Sure. Well, I don't know. Hey, Ken. BWV 1080, let's go. You pick the contrapunctus. Little do you know. What is do you know? Hey, T-Rog. Yeah, we don't have to play entirely Bach, but hey, it's his B-day. You know, he's the dude. He's the goat. It's a song, Little Do You Know. I'll look it up. All right, I pulled it up. We were gonna do, let's see, Goldberg Variations aria. Sure. And then we were gonna grab 1080, BWV 1080. Please leave your request in the form of a BWV number. I'm just kidding. Dragon Ball Z, we were Bella, nice to meet you. Awesome. Sigma, Gorillas. Really? Really, bud? How do you develop jazz mind? Yeah, it's Bach's birthday today, I'm pretty sure. Like 340 years or something? Like reharmony stuff on the go or just knowing how to immediately solo over a certain chord progression? Fantastic question. We will address that in just a second. Chill, chill, chill. Hey, Sharon, you gotta chill. You have to chill. I already told you. I already am looking it up. You can take a chill pill. Going slow and it helped. Company unnecessary. Now you can play. Oh, it's all good. Feel Good Inc. We could probably do Feel Good Inc. at some point. Don't demand. Oh, it's all good. I mean, I know. People get all crazy about what they want to do. All right. Here we go. Let's do a little Goldberg. And then I want to answer the jazz question in a second. Man, there's so many ornaments on this. There we go. That wasn't too bad. That's a lot of ornaments. This is almost Wonderwall too. Bean, it's okay. I see that you're saying faded. Yes. Okay, let's talk a little bit about two different things, because I hear two different people asking about two different things. Is 1080 just the, is that well tempered? I should be more of a Bach scholar. No, it's 846. We'll look up 1080 a second. Do you have any pieces I've composed? Yeah, I do. I do have a decent chunk. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how to improvise and then go into jazz. So let's just start out with general improv for just a second. So, did very hyper in the chat. Very, very hyper. So, let's say you've got, it's easy to understand from a diatonic standpoint first, right? So we got, right? So we got some G major, we got some A minor, right? Just 6-4-1-5. Common chord progression. Everybody loves it. So what you could do is you could just play scalarly, but you're gonna sound kind of stupid. Kind of boring. You could play by chord. Kind of corny and Coldplay-ish. You could play pentatonics. A little too boxed in. So what are you gonna actually do? By the way, this kind of relates to Bach, because Bach was a mastermind improviser. So I'm not gonna lie, I think you could really say this is very much in the spirit of Bach, that we're talking about improvising in jazz and pop music, because the dude could improvise anybody under the table. So let's imagine I actually want to do this. I really want to think through this. So the first thing I would say is just sit on one chord. Yesterday was your birthday? Awesome, your birthday day. Nice, your birthday day. Hold on, let me get this guy his pacifier and see if that makes him happy. Otherwise, I may need to pick up Mr. Man. Okay, so we've got, let's just say we're on A minor. So if I play notes that are in the chord, they're gonna sound great, but boring. Right? Let's say I play notes in the scale that are not the chord. They're gonna sound a little tense, but still acceptable. Right? So right away, if I want to get that pop vibe, I'll stay on the key, but I'm going to just kind of dance around and frame, are the notes working with the chord or are they not? So I may start on a note in the chord, and then I'll go to a note outside of the chord, and then I'll go to a note in the chord. Now, let's say I want to make it a little jazzier, a little more gritty. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add in some notes outside. Otter said, please. I'm inclined. I'm inclined to play that. Then we're going to do some more Bach. We're gonna sneak it in. Hey, Toprak. We were angels, Dragon Ball Z. Okay, I'm getting to your jazz question, by the way. I know this is a really long way to get to your jazz question, but I think it's necessary to fully explain the jazz question. So, now we're going to add in notes outside of the key. Those notes outside of the key are going to push us really far away. Now, let me show you the easiest way to do this. You guys know the song, So What? So what you're going to do, okay, we'll talk about Fly Me to the Moon in just a second when we pivot to jazz improv. So we're on So What? D minor pentatonic, right? Let's say you want to get chromatic with it though. What if you move up a half step, but you're still on D minor? Ew, that's gross, right? But what if you go up even one more half step? Now you're on E minor pentatonic. Those notes sound good. So what are you going to do? Start on E minor pentatonic. Then we're going to flirt with E flat. It's going to be super crunchy, really uncomfortable. We're going to scrunch our face and go, oh, that's gross. But then when we resolve, we're going to be like, that's nice. Do you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when you have dessert and you're a grown-up, so you don't want it to be so sweet, right? You're like spitting it out of your mouth because it's so sweet. I'll get to why it sounds good in a second. Well, you get that cup of black coffee, that really strong black coffee, and oh, it tastes so good. Because what happens is you have the black coffee, and the black coffee really hits the lips and is so bitter and nasty, but then the cake is contrasting with that. So, we have our chord. Now we got E minor on top. So when we get to that D minor, it really, really, really just feels satisfying because of that contrast. Does this sound good? No, it does not sound good. But the contrast sounds great to our ears. Ken, I'm doing chordal voicings over D Dorian. Chordal voicings are for another day. Are you talking about the lick cliche? Tyler, so, okay, let me level with you. I love the way it sounds too. I could sit on this forever. But but it's an acquired taste. It's very much like people who like hot sauce. People who love ghost peppers, it's like any spice is great for us. But some people like you're gonna want olives. Some people you're gonna want just a little black pepper, right? A little salt, and that's it. And so you kind of have to find out where you are. Is like you take a chord and the lowest note diatonically. I don't think I know this term. We'll talk about it some other time. I'm not familiar. We'll have to do some investigations on that. Tyler, it sounds like you and I are on the same wavelength. Like, I'm a ghost pepper guy. Like, I'm legitimately a ghost pepper guy. I love that amount of spice, but I also love it in my music. Give me Penderecki, Threnody for Hiroshima. I'm like all in. I enjoy listening to that stuff. So, let's talk about Fly Me to the Moon as an example for jazz. And then we'll play a little more Bach. Bach. I teach a little bit of piano. I don't teach very much. Mostly, I was making my living mostly from performing up until recently, and now I do a lot of social media management and marketing, and then growing stuff. So, you've never heard Bach? Well, we're gonna fix that today. So now he's a rich otter? No. We could try a Bach version of Fly Me to the Moon. It'd be a little challenging, but we could probably do it. Bach is not a style that I've really worked on improvising in. So very challenging to do. So, all right, so let's talk about how we approach this and make it actually interesting. So, kind of like going back to the other, I'm going to try to simplify this as much as possible. We have the action notes, the guide tones. These notes make sense and work really well. What are they? They're the third and seventh. If you haven't done this yet, you don't know how to play your jazz song. Those are the basis of making your improv sound great. Now what you do on the outside of it is up to you. And it's kind of up to you. Now, the other way that you can approach it is you can go, I just want to know where I'm going, right? I just want to go where I'm going. So let's imagine, I just want to land on this C major, right? I just want to get to this E. We're just going to mess around until we get to the E. Watch this. Right? Or I am playing a ton of wrong notes. It doesn't matter. Rootless voicings are key too. Yeah, you want to learn rootless voicing, so. How did he hear the music he composed? So Beethoven's deafness, I was playing the root. I was playing the root, but you don't have to. So deaf, like Beethoven was the really notorious deaf composer. First of all, he could hear for most of his life, and then he wasn't ever all the way deaf. So, no fifth for sure. Get rid of fifths. Anything from Dead Can Dance? We can find it. Here's some Bach. Yeah, it's actually funny. I think a ton of Bach actually works really well as jazz because it's all circle of fifths based. Can it be played on Phrygian? You could. So. That was Indian classical. We can certainly try, throw something out there. The one problem I tend to find with the Indian stuff is very little of it is written down, which again isn't the end of the world, but it just makes it a little harder to actually track down. Whose birthday is it? Bach's. I think Bach would love it. I honestly think Bach would absolutely love it. Is it on the 31st? Did I just see a bad post? Maybe I really screwed up. Cancel me right now. It's totally the 31st. Somebody totally screwed up. They just saw two numbers. Totally screwed up. Who cares? Too late now. We can still hang out about Bach because Bach is awesome. I don't know dates. 1 and 4 or 1 and 5. It just depends. Oh yeah, Carnival is over. Sure. The 31st of March exists. I know, seriously. Does the 31st actually exist? That's the real question. The carnival is over by Dead Can Dance. Here we go. Correct. Why didn't people back then use more dissonant chromatic things? Was it a church tritone thing or did they just not think it sounded awesome? Okay. Let's talk a little bit about interstellar music is on which mode. Interstellar is Lydian. Basically Lydian, I would say. Let's talk about chromaticism in music. So here's the deal. we like to view history anachronistically. So what is being anachronistic with it? The starting part, Yad Laga from Sirot movie. I'll pull it up at least. So what do I mean by anachronistic? What I mean by anachronistic is, hold on. We might at least get the beginning of, we might get a preview. Ooh, I got a preview of it. Yeah, we can do it. We can do that Bollywood song in a second. Discord request. Doesn't it depend on what, short of, so okay, let me explain my anachronistic thing for a second. So let's imagine that you're watching a movie based in the Revolutionary War and someone pulls out a modern gun and shoots them or says, bro. Okay, all right, see ya Shasti. That's anachronistic because it's not true of that time period, and we're reinterpreting back into that time period the sensibilities and the technology and the vibe of now. So, why am I saying that we view history anachronistically? It's because way better than Forrest Frank. I don't even understand that comparison. Forrest Frank is like a completely different genre than me. I'm not sure they even plays piano. Interesting random observation. I respect, hey, when to change. So this is what happens all the time with music. We think about music with the ears that we have now, with all the music we've heard. Imagine you went back and you didn't even have pianos. Pianos were not available yet. All you had was some stringed instruments. My name is Marcus. Exactly. That's an anachronistic statement. Almost all entertainment. I feel like we lived through a time period where people tried to be historically accurate. They failed miserably. And then we very much got obsessed with very bizarre views of history with the way we like our movies. Like 300 is a very common thing. Yeah, we can try that, Varad. I absolutely love talking about music, so I'm going to talk about music for a little bit, and then we can try it. So here's the deal about chromaticism. Chromaticism developed over time. Why did it develop over time? As best as I can tell, from my perch here in the time period we live in now, it developed over time the same way that cars developed over time, the same way that our infrastructure developed over time. One person building on the next, building on the next, building on the next. So one person started writing down things and they realized hey, if we grab these 7 notes, we put them together and we go, ya, be, dee, ba, 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 da. That sounds pretty good. And then somebody was like, hey, why don't we actually use some leading tones to get us some cooler results? So maybe we go, ya, da, 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 right? And then somebody's like, hey, actually, what we really should do is instead of just using leading tones, maybe we use leading tones to those leading tones. So then we go, ya, da, 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 da. And then Wagner was like, you know what we should do? Let's leading tone to the leading tone to the leading tone until we actually have no idea where we're at. Da, 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 and then we get to where we are now, where you don't even need to resolve anywhere. You can just have this constant thing. That's really how chromaticism happened over history. So by the time you're even to Bach, you have some degree. And then you have these outliers. You have crazy people who even back during Bach's time, Bach himself would be extremely chromatic. The other thing to be aware of, Chopin enthusiast, is the tuning was not conducive to playing in all keys. So solving how to play in all keys was a technical mathematical problem. So this is called the well-tempered clavier. That is because before that you were just temperament, which only meant that you only had 2 or 3 keys that were possible to be played in and have them to sound good. So then you had people tune well-tempered. Once you go to well-tempered, now you can play in all 12 keys, but they still don't sound good. We live in a world of equal temperament. That developed near the end of the Romantic period, right at the beginning of the modern period. Oh, I'm sure they tried that stuff. I'm sure they tried that stuff. And again, if you tried it on a piano back in even the Romantic era, that chord would sound like hot garbage. You want PJ Masks on? Yeah? Go tell Charlotte. Put on some she can't put on PJ Masks? We're on a PJ Masks assignment. So, yeah, and there were no recording. Yeah, so the recordings mean that you're not really getting any degree of building on development as much as you do in this time period. So that's a huge point. But the tuning can't be overstated. Without a basis of tuning, you're not going to be able to develop anything. Because what's going to happen is you go to a weird chord and it's not actually going to work. A lot of it, yes, is actually because of the tuning. It's okay. I got you, girl. There you go. You got it now. Do I take piano classes? I took a bajillion piano classes, and I probably should have a mentor at some point. Yeah, making garbage sound beautiful is a challenge. Yeah, the other thing to be aware of is also sensibilities. Like, look at the way people dress now. Like, people dress crazy now. That didn't happen in a vacuum. That was decades of people going through periods of culture, then counterculture, culture, then counterculture. And now you have a lot of freedom with how you dress. But in the past, people would just look at it like, you're not dressed up. Like, you look like garbage. So, yes. Very good point, Rashad. Yes, the whole equal and well-tempered, that was very much a European thing and unlocked the whole 12 key stuff. Yes, but it's a whole different thing. Okay, you were asking about my hand span. I can reach a 12th. That's the farthest I can reach, is a 12th. So hand stretching to 10th with effort is not enough, not to reach notes, but for playing octaves and bigger intervals more comfortably without tension. Here's the thing, some of the best piano players in the world can barely reach an octave. So I would not say that it's bad if you can't. So, all right, we're gonna do a couple things that people have requested. And then I'm probably actually gonna have to get going. Again, this whole week was kind of crazy. Awesome. Very glad. All right, we'll do the carnival is over. That was... No, you're great. I love the questions, and actually, like you're prompting something else. Like it's hilarious. You don't know what boxes you're in until you think about it a little bit more, and until you have history. We're going to realize we've been in a box of 4 measures and of square phrases because of recording technology. Because here's the deal with recording technology. If I want to make a song really fast, how am I going to do it? I'm going to make it in 2 measure chunks, 4 measure chunks, 8 measure chunks. I'm going to use copy paste. I'm going to use metronome. We think of these as these amazing tools that are making us better musicians. They actually create a crutch that is going to, yeah, I know, this thing, I tuned it, the weather changed, it immediately went out of tune. So I do need to get it tuned. It is pretty, it is totally pretty. But all those phrases that is in this is 4 measure phrases. So even though the harmony is actually quite advanced compared to Bach or somebody 100, 200 years ago, the phrasing is actually, I would say, far less advanced. Now, I do want to make one more point about this. Now I'm going to play a little bit more music and then get rolling. The point that I want to make is you can only get complicated in so many things at once. If you get complicated at everything, then you end up sounding like this, and only like a couple people like it. Yes, it is pretty awesome. Am I a bodybuilder? Yeah, I work a lot on hypertrophy stuff and growing big old muscles. You know, you got to work on your body a little bit. You got to stay in shape. Got to stay in shape. You got to build those muscles up, especially as you're getting older. All right, I'm going to play one thing of mine, and then we got to cut out a little bit early. Because I've got responsibilities, good old responsibilities. Let's do, I'm not going to play, I actually played a little Wonderwall earlier. I snuck it in though, so I don't blame you if you didn't hear it. We'll do this song. It's called Man-Made Beauty. I wrote this. Baby is not crying. I can see the baby right here. He's talking to me, but he's not crying. I can tell you right now, Karam, I care way more about the baby than you. No offense. Close the lid. He always does. La Campanella. I'm gonna get rolling, but. And maybe. I'm just messing around. All right, I'll be out. Peace out, everybody. Take it easy. Have a good week.